Morning. It's a bit of a grey and gloomy day here in Banbury in Oxfordshire, but it doesn't matter because I finished the base that I was building. I was up late last night assembling it and I'm pretty knackered this morning because I ended up doing more to it last night than I planned to do, but you know, once you're in the groove, it's hard to stop. So this is just a really quick video about where we are now. We're finished, we're done, almost done. A couple of things to do to it, but I'm really pleased with it. It's my Harley Benton PB-50, which I've modified. Did one video already when it arrived, did another video the other day which just showed how far I'd got with the modifications and all the dodgy stuff that I found under the hood, which you can find. I'll put the links below so you can go back and look those up if you want to. But it's complete, it's finished. Since I last did a video, I put the nitrocellulose, the amber tinted nitrocellulose lacquer on the neck, and that looks beautiful. Put a decal on, sprayed the scratch plate white because it was black before. Couldn't find a white one for love nor money, so I ended up just painting the black one that I've got white, and that came out really well. I was a bit worried about how that might look, thought it might look a bit rubbish, but it looks okay. Anyway, there she is. There you go. Pretty gorgeous. I've got to say, I am really super happy about this. I think it looks amazing. It's got such a cool vibe to it now. When you think about how it looked before, when it had, well, basically the sunburst finish is as is, the bridge is as is, and that might change. Refer to an earlier video for discussion on that. The wiring and the pots are still a bit poor, but I'll come to that in a sec. So yeah, the scratch plate was black originally, didn't like black scratch plate, bit worried about painting it, but I thought, well, you know, here goes nothing. Painted it in white with just normal white craft spray paint. Come out an absolute treat. I roughed it up very lightly, the scratch plate, with some extremely light sandpaper, wet and dry paper. I think it was 2000 grit or something, the lightest I had. Just doled it down, gave it a key for the paint. That's come out brilliantly, really happy with that. Lacquered the neck and the headstock, which I'd reshaped. I've only lacquered the front. I've left the back as it is because the original neck has got a really nice satin, very dry, fast playable finish on it, which is lovely. So my old Stingray that I had a bare back on it. That's how it came, and the finish just ended abruptly like that. It wasn't amber on the Stingray, it was clear, so it was less obvious. But you know, I was giving an amber tint for a bit of a vintage vibe, and that's what we've got. So pretty happy with that. I just sanded that flat so there's no line as well. And yeah, the decal again, the base I did before, the custom build, it's called the Bruno base, named after my boy. This is named after my little girl. It's the Dulcie base. She's too little to help me assemble it, so she didn't sign the back like her brother did on his. But the decal it's Fender style font, but I didn't want to do a fake Fender decal, you know. I don't have a problem with people putting fake Fender stuff on, or any make for that matter, but personally, you know, and I can understand why people do it, but for me, I just don't see the point really. You know, I'd rather do something that's a little bit individual. So Dulcie custom base, and it's got my name underneath there in tiny letters too, and that came from Rothko and Frost, who they did my decal before, and yeah, high quality, quick turnaround, fair price, really good, pleased with that. So that went on. I got the decal made with silver font because I knew I was going to put some more layers of the tinted amber over it, and I knew that that would give it a golden hue. So I think if I went for gold and then put extra tint over it, it would have been a bit too gold. So the silver with the additional gold mist coats on it just gets it to where I want it to be, which is brilliant. I was gonna put a mist coat over it, which I've done. I was then gonna clear coat it and polish it. Not gonna bother. Not gonna clear coat it. I just sanded this back flat with very, very fine sanding paper. I think it was 1000 grit or 1500 grit, just to flatten it back. It looks nice and vintagey. I don't want it all glossy and shiny. It's nitrous cellulose, so it's gonna age anyway. So I'm just going to leave it, no clear coat on it, just leave it. The decal is nicely sealed, the signature on the back is nicely sealed, so that's not going anywhere, so I just leave that on. So yeah, the only thing I'm going to do is put some strap locks on it, and I'm going to put some flat wound strings on it, which is my intention. I've ordered them, they haven't come yet. So I put the D'Addario round wounds that came on the bass originally on it. Now this bass is made to be played in a sort of flat wound, dull, thumpy, muted style. That's the kind of sound I think that Fender were going for when they first launched these basses. They were trying to replace or offer a more ergonomic and easy to use alternative to upright double bass players. That's why this thing was invented in the first place. So sound wise, they were trying to replicate that sound, and obviously the sound of a double bass. An upright bass is very boxy, boomy, thuddy. You know, it's not a sort of trebly, clangy bass sound at all. That's a sound that's come from people finding those sounds with electric basses. But this bass, when it was designed, it was made to replicate the sound of an acoustic bass. So this pickup does that really well. I'm really pleased with how it sounds. It sounds really great. What I have to do is turn the highs and the mids down, and then you've got quite a thumpy sound, which is good. Doesn't sound good with the treble up or the treble, even if you put all the EQs on at 12 o'clock flat, it still sounds scratchy and twangy and harsh and metallic, which is cool for some kinds of music, but this kind of bass, it just doesn't want to do that. You know, that's not what it's made to do. So I think flat wounds will promote that tone even more, but for now with the round wounds, just turning the tone down, and you can get a really nice tone. I'll plug it in and you can hear what I mean. So this is just plugged into my little Ashdown practice amp, 20 watt amp. Now the one thing to say about it is, when I did the original review, I explained that the pots didn't work properly. They still don't. The volume still just does this, remains constant, and then just dies at the end. And the tone control, it's really weird. When I first plugged the bass in, the tone control does nothing at all. It just spins and has no effect on the sound. When it's been plugged in for a while, or it's been turned a few times, it starts to work a little bit, and it's odd because it did that before, and I've never come across that with a bass before. But anyway, what I've got is, I've turned the tone right down, and I've got the mids and the treble wound back on the amp a little bit. It's quite a noisy bass, but that's a single core pickup. You know, it all appears to be earthed properly, grounded properly, so you know, the hum that you get is sort of synonymous with single coil instruments, really. If I turn the amp right up, you might be able to hear that hum. If I touch the strings, it goes. But you know, that's just single coil. That's what you get, single coil. So the kind of instrument, because it's got such a fat chunky neck, it does really feel, it doesn't make you want to play fast, it makes you want to play sort of, you know, lovely bottom end. It's really don't know if the microphone on the phone is going to pick it up, but it's got such rich bass response from that pickup. It's really good. It sounds really good. So yeah, it just, you know, it doesn't make you wanna. It's not a slap machine. It's not a speed machine. It's just a nicer, you know, just a groovy bass, you know. And I think it looks fantastic. Looks really, really, really good. Put it together last night. Couldn't stop looking at it. Brilliant. You know, I covered some of the issues with it in the previous video, so I won't go over those again, but I just say that I think it looks amazing. It's really heavy, that's the other thing. But anyway, it's band practice tonight. I'm going to give it a go tonight, see how I get on. We're gigging on Saturday, so I might take it Saturday. I don't know. I'm a bit worried about the pots, really. You know, the volume and the lack of a tone. But you know, I'll see how it goes tonight. The bridge, I might change the bridge. I talked about it before. I might put a bridge cover on it. I'm not sure. I don't think the high mass bridge massively detracts from the look. I think a traditional Fender type bridge would look better, possibly, but you know, I don't know. And yeah, I think it's the kind of bass I'm used to playing. Jazz basses or a Stingray where you've got to pick up sort of here, and you can just rest your hand on there and play. And that's my comfortable playing position. So to play here, to rest my finger on the pickup there, is different for me, but it's, you know, I'll get used to it, I guess. But I really do think it's probably more of a sort of pick bass, you know. I think that's probably more. The trouble is with a pick, you do get that attack, which is cool. You probably lose that in the mix anyway. So I think really it's a really good bass. Cost wise, yeah, as I said, the bass itself cost me less than £100. It was from Thomann originally. It's a Harley Benton PB-50. It's a Dulce bass now, but it was a Harley Benton PB-50. Cost less than £100. The total cost for me was the decal was about £10 from Rothko and Frost. The nitro cellulose can was, including the carriage, was about £19 from Northwest Guitars. Used about half a can on that, so still got enough to do another neck, which is cool. And then the white paint for the sketch plate was just a craft paint from B&Q for like £4 or something. So that's all I spent on it, really, you know, sort of not much over £100. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Thank you.